Oh man, what up, everybody? Y'all just missed. Apparently, I just pulled a Joel. Is what just happened. I leaned in closer to the computer because I couldn't hear what someone said, and I guess I'm now officially a boomer. Is what that means. But good morning, welcome to live trading.
On top of that, your sweater is inside out.
No, it's not. Wait a minute. My sweater is not inside out. This is normal. This is look at the other end. You can't even see, but like it's normal.
I'll take
the
your
other
word for
end
it, but
looks the
it
same,
sure looked weird to me.
Yeah.
Right. You know what? Fine. Let's just start this show. I don't even know.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas law, that phrase.
Kiana.
Fisher.
Joy.
Joe. Cards drawn are the past, ones to come are future.
And the best part, it's beatable.
All right. Welcome to live trading. Spencer, Mitch, Ryan, Zunaid. What up, everyone? How we doing? Day off yesterday. We're back now. What's up?
What is up, man? What a interesting day already in pre-market. What's up, Aaron? With all the chaos that we're seeing so far. I mean, you've got Coinbase down, UPST down, AMD down, Nvidia down, whatever else I can't think of down.
Everything's down.
Inflation up.
There you go.
Yeah.
I thought it was transitory, though.
That's what they said.
They say a lot of things, it turns out.
I will be right back.
All right, while Mitch goes to grab his orange juice with his pinky up, Ryan.
Hey, man, I wish I had some orange juice right now, so I'm not even going to talk shit. But one of the things I wanted to say is that this rip in Bitcoin is really, really interesting. Zunaid, you touched on it already. Coinbase trading down after worse than expected Q3 sales results. It'll be interesting to see how Coinbase actually trades during the day, given the rip we're seeing right now in Bitcoin. This has definitely been correlated in the past. I'm not sure how strong the actual tie is. Coinbase has its own business and its own fundamentals, but I want to watch to see what the action is like. We're already up off the lows by like 23 points in the pre-market, and Bitcoin is literally ripping right now to new highs. So Coinbase definitely going to be on watch today.
Yeah, Bitcoin is ripping in the last I guess since CPI, since the number came out. Yep. So wait, can we all share our screens here and we can go through what's on our watch list? But yes, it's actually not just Bitcoin. It's all of crypto. It's ETH, and maybe actually we use that moment right there to do our first crypto update of the day, because this is the only inflation hedge. So says the market, because gold is gold, and who cares about that? But Bitcoin and ETH are ripping. Let's do our crypto update. All right, so it's not the whole universe, but it is the big ones. Let's get rid of that pop-up. Bitcoin, ETH, Binance Coin, all up in the green, and this doesn't even tell the whole story, because, like I said, in the last 30 to 40 minutes or so, you've seen the tide turn. We were down this morning in the major cryptos. We are now well up in Bitcoin and ETH and XRP, Uniswap, Binance Coin, so Litecoin as well. So again, I don't quite understand how all the cryptos trade with, like, the relationships that they have with each other. I don't know if there is one. Bitcoin and ETH are pretty correlated, but in terms of everything else, that I don't know if someone in the chat knows more than I, but I haven't been able to figure out yet what that relationship is. I would have thought they would all trade higher today, but I guess clearly not. In any case, this has been your first of 3 crypto updates of the day. You can get some free Bitcoin. All you have to do is go to the Voyager app, download that app, enter the offer code ZING, Z-I-N-G, fund your account with $100 and make your first trade, and they'll give you some free Bitcoin. Either of you guys have thoughts on the crypto market today?
I'm upset with my Shiba Inu being down.
I mean, yeah.
I was hoping to retire off of that, but, here we are.
Everyone out here trying to get rich quick. I'm trying to get rich slow. That's my problem.
Whatever. You stick to your ETFs.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, Ryan, you want to start with your watch list?
Yeah, so one of the things we talked about Coinbase already. One of the things that I'm going to be watching is NAII. They had a print last night, really good number. This is a kind of a frustrating trade for me. I've actually been in this small for a long time. I think that this company is probably going to be worth about $30 eventually, and I think that the problem right now is that the management team seems to be kind of sleepy and all that, but they're putting up really good earnings numbers. I'm expecting some upgrades in the near future. I actually may swing this to the low 20s here. So I'm going to be watching, see how this trades out of the open. Very thin, doesn't trade on a lot of volume. So be careful if you decide to trade this. We'll go ahead and see. You mentioned, or we already talked about Bitcoin. That's one of the things that I wanted to watch. And then I also kind of want to watch the banks, right? I want to see if the banks catch any type of bid.
They already have.
Yeah, well, I'm saying I want to see, like some of these days, like the banks will catch a bid and then they'll sell off in the day. Like I'm looking at the Goldman Sachs chart yesterday, looked like it was going to be all right out of the open, and then really kind of sold off to the lows and then bounced back to near unch. So I want to see how they actually trade, because I think that if you can get any type of trend, we might be able to get a feel on some of the inflation stuff.
Zunaid, what are you watching here?
I already talked about coin. I just want to talk about the level. Wait, can I hear myself? All right.
For a secondary,
we're good.
Okay. All right, Spencer, trying to mess me up because I said your sweater was inside out with Ryan. That's fine. Looking at Coinbase above that 320 level. So 321, as you can see, is where I've got my what is this? A price alert set. We'll see how that one behaves over there. PayPal, I was short this yesterday. Could not get the break of 200, unfortunately. So it wasn't a huge payday, but a nice one. So what am I looking at again? Just to see how it kind of behaves around this area. If it goes ahead and bounces, great. If it breaks 200, I will look to go short to maybe get at least 195, 196 area. So that's what I'm taking a look at. Cannot forget about Ford. Today, I believe, is the IPO for Rivian. I thought it'd be yesterday, so my dreams were crushed a bit, but this swing has been really nice to us. And if the IPO price continues to climb, I expect Ford, which has a 12% stake from what I understand, to behave accordingly as well. So what am I looking to do? I'm going to set an alert here at $20.04. I will try to go long there, hoping to at least get 30 to 50 cents if possible. So I'm looking at that. And last but not least, UPST. This one, just another one of those earnings reports, just ugly. Don't know what they do. But if this goes ahead and breaks 332, I will try to go short and possibly look to get about 310 on this one. So more short trades than I ever have looked at before. But again, let's see what the market behaves. By the way, Roblox, I know, tried to get above 110 yesterday. So if it can do that, I will go ahead and grab some there. And if it reaches about $100 or so, I'll grab some there.
Real fast, before we throw it to Mitch, we did get that news on SOS why the stock was halted. And they're raising a bunch of money and doing a lot of dilution in the process. They just offered they're going to sell 90.1 million shares at a price of $1.75. So I'm not quite sure what the float was prior to this. But this is a doozy of an all. It's not a big float, I can tell you that. I don't know what it was, but I can tell you it wasn't. We're not talking, a billion share float here. So,
I think right there I just saw 28 million on the pro. But yeah, look at that. I mean, I've got the chart up, and I'm sure you do right there as well. Yeah, look at that, 153 from about 223. Just a huge 26% drop in a matter of minutes.
Wait a minute, and did Mara just report just now? Did that just come out? Yes.
While you do that, yep, it's up at the moment.
Wow, we're in a fast market here. Mara just came out.
Yeah, Mara is going to be definitely hot. It's the leader in the cryptocurrency stocks. If you pay attention to that recent one moving, Riot has been moving up. Hut is also another leader there. Hut was mentioned as rumors of trying to buy out Hive, but that didn't happen. As we see, Hive got hit yesterday. We'll see what happens with these. A lot of people are watching these Bitcoin stocks, so keep your eyes on them, and we'll see what happens.
All right, Mitch, what's on your radar today?
So another one to keep on watch there, just to watch, because yesterday it did run kind of into the close. BTBT, look for that to get strong today. I would watch that. Nice looking hourly chart on that chart right there. That's BTBT. But today for me is all about what? I want to go ahead and I need to, guys. I need to push the button. Push the button, guys, because at the end of the day, I got caught in some stocks there. As we know, on Friday, we were looking at a couple of these trades that I did take. So we'll go ahead and take a look here to see what happened. But I'll show you guys right now. I got caught in a couple of names. So I'm still in LAZR. Of course, I wish I would have grabbed that 50%. Wasn't able to get out of that trade, but at least we did take this trade live right here on live trading. I had 1790s. I still have. I've been adding a little bit into this move down. We'll see if we get a bounce today. That's LAZR. AMC, I'm still holding to. Might get stopped out in this one. This is a classic trade of why maybe going to the pool bar on Monday night wasn't the best option for me, but it was what happened, and now I got to go ahead and deal with it. Could have been taking gains, but I was too busy taking shots. So, hey, it happens, you know. AMC definitely hurting a little bit today. We'll see if it stops me out. I'll let you guys know. I'm going to hold down towards 38s. I don't want to go let it crack down 38s because then I'll start getting close towards my break-even price point, and we're not going to get into a loser in this trade. But this could very easily have been a 20 to 30% trade if I wasn't out having some fun on Monday night.
All right. Well, now
We're
we
here to
know.
pass along life lessons. So
Lesson learned.
I appreciate that.
Lesson learned.
Hey, it happens. You know, one thing is I was out spending money while I should have been at home making money.
Nah, there's more to life than that. There's more to life than that.
Real quick, going to a couple of trades yesterday that I took. I want to go back real quick to Uber. They were buying in the millions, and we went ahead and called this out in the option squawk as well. If you're a Benzinga Pro user, they were buying. It was the February 18th, 4750 calls. So with Uber possibly having a little bit of a dip, you can take a look at that as well. Keep an eye on the open interest to see if the big whales get out of the position or not. But Uber is one that I'm taking a look at. Another one that I personally bought into as well is IAA. This is something else. Let me tell you what the it is the January, February, March 18th, 55 calls. Sorry, I'm trying to.
No, that's all right.
Format here is weird, but IAA. Go ahead.
Real fast, I just want to correct because I butchered the SOS thing. I said it was an offering of 90 million shares. It's $90 million, which comes out to 50 million shares. So I stand corrected on that number.
Real quick on IAA, went ahead and bought the March 18th $55 calls. Why? Because if you go ahead and look back at the daily, it held like the $51 level really, really well right over here. So for me, if it breaks $50 and it goes below, I will get stopped out of it. But the March 55 calls is what I am in for IAA.
As far as what I'm watching, I'm sort of just trying to keep my head above water here in terms of movers and figuring out what's up and what's not, because there's like some days, you know, you have 5 stocks that you're paying attention to. Some days you got 2. Today I got like 30, and I'm going to struggle to keep up with all of them because I want to watch all these earnings, but I also want to watch, you know, like any inflation sensitive things that like the banks, and I want to watch the TLT and Bitcoin. And so I sort of, in terms of what I'm watching, I'm sort of bad answer, and I'm kind of watching all of it. Trying to watch as much of the market as I can here. There's so many tickers we didn't even talk about yet today. Like we didn't even talk about Fubo, which got crushed after hours, right? We didn't even talk about Pubmatic, which is a Mitch favorite, which is up a lot. Or Ring Central. Ring Central is up huge. It's like your biggest gainer in the morning.
Yeah, you know, we did talk about Pubmatic here on live trading on Monday.
Screens, Spencer.
So
sorry.
Yeah, Monday we talked about it because TTD was up on. So I forgot what was the news for TTD. I don't know if it was earnings.
It was earnings.
Yeah, it was earnings that popped it up here. So on Monday we were actually talking about it, specifically that Pubmatic could get a lift because of that. And as you're seeing today, boom. This is why relationships matter, guys. You got to stay with relationships. And one of the best plays that I have found that has worked for me is the Laggard play. Going for a relationship in the same industry after a big leader goes ahead and leads the party, either gives out a good catalyst, good earnings, raise guidance, something like that. Then I look for the laggard play to go ahead and jump into. Pubmatic could have definitely been that one. The other laggard play I'd look at today is MGNI. This one has been struggling lately. Now I'll look for this to get hot today through the 24. We'll see what happens.
It may not get there today, but I said how I wanted to buy Palantir a few days ago, and I missed the run up. But I would be interested in Palantir, not at 23.55 where it is, but I'd be interested in Palantir like 21. If we can get down to 21, I could be into that. That's $2.50 away. You know, we're not gonna get there today, but if we do get there in the coming weeks, I could be into that. So something I'm watching as well. And then I'm watching Tesla because it leads the whole market, right? I mean, yesterday Tesla goes down 12% for no reason. Well, I guess the reason is it went up in for the last month. But yeah, we're back at 1,000 now in Tesla. We were.
Yeah, the only question is, where do we find support in Tesla?
I don't even know.
For me, support comes down towards 904. If you see on the daily, you'll see a gap on Tesla. There's a gap up on this day right here. On the 22nd of October, we gapped up towards this move on the 25th. I think we go back and fill that gap. Then we'll take another leg up. So somewhere in this area is where I'm expecting to find support, guys.
That's like 912, Mitch.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
912, 950s to 900. Somewhere in between there is where I'd look for some support to find. And then we'd look for another leg up in Tesla. We'll see what happens with this one. And it's a big mover. It's going to determine a lot of the market. My two stocks that I like to determine the market are Apple and Tesla. Apple's been sideways lately. We wouldn't want to see this turn down either today. We wanted to see it rip on up there through the 150s. It keeps trying to get back up there, but as you guys can see, kind of this uptrend. We don't want it to break down towards this area down here at 145s because that would also drag the market.
Yeah, speaking of Tesla, I mean, you can go ahead and just pull up my chart if you want. You can see how well the $1,000 level has held.
I know why you had an echo there, Zunaid. Just make sure that when you share your screen, you don't share audio.
Oh, there you go. You fixed it for me. Appreciate you.
Boom, gotcha.
If you go ahead and take a look at Tesla, you can see how well that $1,000 level has held in pre-market once and almost twice there. So what I'm actually going to do is not just set an alert, but right now I'm going to go ahead and set a buy limit here on Tesla as well. If it goes ahead and breaks, let's just say 995, I will go ahead and get out. So I'm risking about $5 to $7 and hoping for it to come back to at least about 1010 or test VWAP somewhere get near there. But if you're kind of a little bit more risk averse, if you will, may not be the best trade for you. But I do believe we could possibly get a bounce once again at that $1,000 level. And if it breaks that, we can look to go short. But I at least want to get a little bit of a bounce, similar to what PayPal did yesterday when I was short, when I was bouncing at that $201 level right here, right? So kind of went short, had a psychological level, didn't quite get to 200. I believe it got all the way to 201 or 280 cents or something like that. And then it kind of bounced all the way up to 204. So similar strategy there. We'll see what happens. But I definitely want to let you guys know that I will have that trade. Quick little bounce. If we get it, great. If not, oh well.
All you guys are funny in the chat. Chat's good, man.
What's going on?
Nah, the chat's just funny. Chat. I love the chat, and if you have an idea for us, drop it in there. Because
if you're just watching, get in the chat. Get involved.
Yeah, right?
Participate.
That's what it's about.
This is one of the best spots on the internet because honestly, they're probably going to end up getting us in trouble at some point. I'm not going to do anything, but I'm just going to enjoy it.
All right, guys. So I want to tell you guys a little bit. I did put out a tweet, guys, about battery plays, charging station, EV, autonomous. This is what you got to start kind of building up, guys. Is that I think you really need to start looking at these baskets and trying to find where the winners are going to be. Because this is going to be the next plays, I think, for the next 10 years, the next decade. And so I know a lot of people are talking about, well, get rich solutions, right? Well, if you're looking 10 years out, I think this is your chance. If you really focus on these industries, battery plays, charging stations, EVs, autonomous, lithium plays, if you nail down those industries in 10 years, you could very much be rich. So
you have to get a weight though is the thing.
What that means is for those people that are trying that quick get rich, this could be it, but not quick. It could take a decade, but you have the opportunity. And that's what I want traders to know, because everyone's looking at tomorrow, but they're not looking at 10 years out. And 10 years out, these plays are going to take over. And so you got to know which ones are going to be there at the end. And what I always recommend is a basket play approach.
If y'all want to know what is trending on Benzinga Pro this morning, the most searched ticker is Tesla. But number 2 behind Tesla is LAZR. This was a crazy high flyer yesterday. We got to like $30 in yesterday's pre-market session.
And was long right here on Monday on live trading. Why? Because of what? Infrastructure play, looking for this to get a lift, right? And then what ends up happening is you get a following of catalysts. This is what I talk about, news flow. Always try to stay with the news flow. The reason I went after LAZR was not because specifically infrastructure placed it in there, but I expected positive news flow coming from the company. You nail it. That's how you find a 50% winner. It's not like you just easy. What you do is you place yourself in the probable spot.
And I want to do a plug for ourselves. Friday at 12:45 p.m. Eastern Time, we will have the CFO of Luminar, ticker LAZR, on Benzinga Live, 12:45 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday. Stay tuned for that. We will ask all about this run up from yesterday.
Very cool.
There. So, trending tickers: Tesla, Laser, Roblox is number 3. We should talk about Roblox for a second as well, because this thing crushed their earnings report. Their active users year over year increased, I think, like 30 some odd %. And we didn't really we kept on going. We closed at the high yesterday. Someone has a chart up on the screen there. I think Ryan does, right?
This is RNXT. Which stock did you need?
That's not Roblox. Roblox. If you look at the Roblox chart, it closed at the high. And now we're off that high this morning, but just a beast of a report from RBLX. This is your number 3 trending ticker today on Benzinga Pro.
A lot of smart people buying Roblox.
But also, if you're buying it now, I think you're kind of doing it wrong.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you miss a move from 80s to 100 plus, yeah, that might not be the best place. But I mean, I still think the outlook is bright here for Roblox. I think there are going to be Roblox gift cards in every kid's stocking this year. Every parent that I talk to says their kids are all about Roblox. So yeah. I don't know. I don't play it myself. Can't give you
when Cardi B puts it in a tweet, you know it.
I don't follow Cardi B tweets. So.
I don't follow.
She said it. She said if she ever goes broke, it's going to be because of Roblox, because their kids are just hitting that credit card up.
That's what I'm saying. That's how microtransactions were really, really a good decision for the companies that are trying to make money off of video games. That really was a good one.
Hey, yeah. That this shows you when it starts getting into the artists, the social trends. You guys know how I like to stick with the stories. From that moment, I was like, Roblox, that thing's going to rip, man. I mean,
yeah, I when I said smart people, I was not referring to Cardi B. I was referring to other people in finance and private equity that really like the stock.
Influencers,
so clear that up.
Influencers run this market, Ryan.
Hey, no,
it's not the smart people.
I am not. I'm not denying that. I'm just saying that where I came up with my like for Roblox was from some other source.
First, you made the bogus call that there's no technicals in crypto, and now you're saying influencers run the market. Stop it. Stop
influencers,
just stop it.
Just look at Zach Morris.
Congratulations, that's one individual with small caps.
Hold on. Can I
compare that to the trillions of dollars?
I think you're both right. You're both right to an extent. Zunaid's right in that the overall market is not. It does not care about these things. But Mitch is right. Individual names absolutely can be run.
I mean, you get those small floaters where someone says, "Hey, I'm buying,"
but not even a low float.
The low floaters. Look at AMC. Is AMC a low float? Is GME a low float?
AMC was completely different. What was the float on it before it even got like that crazy on it?
Hundreds of millions.
Yeah,
come on, bro. Zunaid. Get
Look,
out
the
of
whole-
here.
my whole point is you can't
Get
say,
outta
look, your
here,
whole
bro.
statement was the fact that it was about to get to the
Get
open
out
was
of here.
big money doesn't run the market, influencer does.
All right,
That,
so 5
that's just
seconds,
completely
3 seconds, 2 seconds. Here we go.
Opening bell.
There's our bell.
Let's hit it. Ding, 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 ding.
This
Mitch
means
is having too much fun with this.
I go over to my scanner tool once that bell rings, and I see what's up, what's down, what's moving. What do we got here?
Let me go ahead and put
Ryan, your RNXT.
I know, running right out of the gate. Move too quickly to run right out of the open, too, or move too quickly out of the open. Excuse me.
All right, so
Here
this
it comes.
morning I'm going to be more in protective mode here with a lot of my trades here. LAZR, I did get a fill here for an ad. I'm at 1925s now, guys. I'm looking for this to break on up there through 2075. I did add. I have about 48 shares down there.
Got filled on
nine.
Tesla, by the way.
Ooh,
There you
3
go.
for 3.
Tesla.
Do we just go around the horn?
And come on, fill me.
It's only
I've got
one
a
way,
fill
right?
of 109.
Around the horn.
Come on.
Hey, you guys, definitely, we need some likes, guys. Let's get these likes up. If you guys are appreciating us going live here, live trading for you guys, hit that like, smash it up. Look at the screen, guys. Come on. Look at all these likes. Let's go.
All right, got filled half size at 1009 on Tesla. The rest, I'm going to go ahead and break even when it breaks 1,000, if it ever does, and then we'll just wait for it to ride out. Roblox, by the way, touching 100. Let me see here. And it just bounced too quick. I couldn't grab that one.
Yo, CJ, we're not here to give
Tesla
you the
out.
trades. We're here to call out our trades, man. If that's what you're here for, see ya.
Yeah, I think the more eyes, the better, right? And that's kind of what we're doing here is we're all looking at different things. So we just call things out as we see them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you are the trader, right? None of us are going to be able to click buttons for you. So if we call out plays that we think are moving or that we notice are moving, it's going to be up to you to go ahead and trade that. We will try to give you levels and analysis whenever we can. But as you see, some of these things move real fast. I mean, look at RNXT. This thing just bolted out. There was no way I was going to be able to give you a specific entry point.
Well, we also did, right? If you want to pull up my Tesla chart here real quick, I mean, we literally said, hey, I'm placing an order right about at $1,002. And look at that first minute. Went there, bounced up, got out. Like we literally gave you the levels to watch for, including where you should get out. So
Okay, you know what though?
Can't click the mouse for you, my man.
No. But what we can do is tell you that a bunch of stocks that were up in the pre-market off earnings are coming off here at the open, right? DoorDash trading down, Pubmatic trading down, the trade desk going with it here. What else am I seeing trading down off the open here?
The SPY trading down.
Sure, yeah, the overall market's down. Good point. Yeah. How's Ring Central doing? No, that one's higher. But a lot of these, it seems like I'm looking at what opened up higher off earnings today. DoorDash, PUBM. Trading down off that open here. So,
all right, based off the inflation numbers, I'm seeing financial services up. I'm trying to look for some banks here that could probably do good today. Looking at it right now, there's not many that are up higher than 1%. So you guys can keep your eyes on these, see if they're going to have a good day or not. Citigroup looked interesting, a nice little pop up there. Maybe VWAP bounce play. WFC VWAP bounce play also in play there.
I would be concerned if I was long forward, which I'm not, but if I was, I'd be a little bit concerned here for today. It's come so far so fast.
You shut up.
I think it can pull back. I do agree.
I mean, look, for me, if it goes and breaks that 20 and you got the Rivian IPO, we should at least get a 30, 50% move, but we'll see. But that swing was already a 400% nice, so I'm perfectly okay with it. But I've already got the alert set there. By the way, Tesla, after it went ahead and broke that $1,000 level, looks like it wanted to go ahead and test it again.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as it does, what does it do? Whack! You're not coming up here just yet, pal. Get smacked once again. I looked at getting puts, but they're just juicy. Even the $900 puts for this week are $10. So I did not play it. But here it comes once again. If it goes ahead and rejects, good entry above VWAP, going and get out because it can get dangerous. And you got 47 cents away from breaking 20. By the way, Roblox, why do we talk about psychological levels? Look at that. just $100 level, just a boing, easy bounce, easy play. The only reason I didn't get into this one is because I was already in Tesla, and that's a mover where you gotta make sure you're paying attention, or else you can pay the price.
Noah's asking about the Rivian IPO. We don't know the time. There is no time. It opens when it opens. If I had a hunch, if I had to wager a guess, and we can do a bet right now on this show, but I would guess after 12 o'clock Eastern time.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
Probably
No question.
maybe closer to 1. The larger the IPO, the longer it tends to take. So
No question.
All
Went
right,
ahead
yeah.
and grabbed some $20 calls on Ford, by the way.
a firm dropping like a rock. Yeah, down to 141 here. We've fallen $35 in 2 days.
Tough market out there right now.
Yeah,
Tough
it is.
market.
A lot of these stocks that were in huge uptrends, like a firm, like Tesla, coming back down to earth the last couple of days.
This is what I talked about on Monday that I was concerned about, was a rotation in the market, because the SPY had gone up 8 days on Monday.
I know.
Then it went up 9 days, and then we ran into the turnaround. This is where you have to also, when you're taking positions, especially like I was taking swing trades. This is what I was majorly concerned about. The market turning around on me, not the stocks itself, but the market. And the market itself can stop you out. So I think this is something to always keep in mind when you're getting in your positions. Take a look at where the overall market is, where your index is, see where that is, because it depends a lot on how the next couple of weeks could turn out.
Cannabis looks like it's moving here. We got a pop on CGC and a pop on Tilray.
Nice.
Any of you trading that?
No, but it's a
One
good
in
thing
the
to
chat.
look at. We're looking for pockets of strength right now,
Yep,
right? Where could
that's
there
why-
be pockets of strength? Good
There you
call
go.
out there.
Pocket of-
CGC.
Yeah, pocket of strength also in healthcare today. You look at Johnson & Johnson, you look at Pfizer, you look at the XLV, right? Trading higher. Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer are two of your largest positions in that ETF.
Not bad. Yeah, let me see my index here, how healthcare has been looking lately. Looks like it's trying to come back up through a resistance, so it's a good day for it. Has had a nice pullback, good flag pattern. You could see a lot of these get strong today. Seeing drug manufacturers up too. So of course, you guys know Merck. You just mentioned J&J, Lilly. You guys can take a look at some of these.
Yeah, a few good ones in the chat here too. Neo, yep.
Neo being mentioned.
Earnings, we didn't even talk about that on the show this morning, but Neo
Nice.
and earnings popped off the open here. Quiet in the pre-market, but popped off the open.
PEV maybe moving on that. Or LI moving on that.
Maybe.
Not much. They are moving up. They're moving hand in hand, but NIO is leading. So
seeing
I'd
some
play
buy
the
the dip.
leader.
Speaking of EVs, a little bit of buy the dip in Arrival today. RVL, that one was crushed yesterday off its report, but seeing a little bit of buy the dip action, up 3.5% today.
Yeah, Arrival is one that I love the story. It just needs time. So EV is also on the pullback mentioned in the chat. I know a lot of people are looking at this pullback. This one's had news for 2 days. Look for it to hold down here by this 1350s, and then it can go sideways, chop here. Hold 13s on pullbacks would be a good move. We'll see what happens. Man, it's been a tough one for me with that AMC. I paid for it. Let's just say that. Probably going to get stopped out of it today.
SOS, we have for the moment found a bottom, but this is a $1 stock.
That SOS name, that ticker, has always kept me away from that stock.
Do we have any kind of no? We're at the low of the year, aren't we? Yeah, no. The low of the year is from like the first week of January. We're right there. So,
I want to see one that I saw changing its long trend. Yep. DISCA is one that I've been looking to get a swing trade in for a while, and it started to turn around. Communication services is actually up 0.47. A lot of this was off that AMCX move, AMC network, that I could see probably finding that gap down. But definitely floating island right there, Brian.
Say again?
Floating island trades.
Where
Like those?
are you? AMCX? Look to the left. What do you got to the left? So not really, right? Because we didn't break into new highs. We did gap up, but we didn't break into a new high there. And it can still work, but that's going to reduce the percentage of the resolution to the upside.
Well, there you go. There you guys have it there. That's one of Ryan's favorite plays, the floating
And it sure
island.
is. As far as chart formation goes, that's the top. going
There
on,
you go.
Judge?
We got to know the plays that we like, guys.
For
Yep,
Ryan, would Snapchat be the same? They also have a big island.
Let me take a look. Let me just pull it up here real quick.
That's why it's fun. I like this.
So on here, this was your island here on Snap. This one didn't do all that great. I mean, it popped up, it came back and actually broke the bottom of the island, which in all honesty makes it a little bit tougher to trade. If you have a tight stop, you might actually take that there. But eventually it does, of course, resolve to the upside. In fact, it tries twice before getting pulled back down to its support area here. So this was at one point, I mean, let's see, this was from July to October. So there were several months here for this to actually resolve. There were 2 spikes higher, but this one would have been a little bit tougher than normal.
All right, how's the overall market doing? Are we looking like we want to crack 465s?
That's okay.
Looks like we're hanging out at support, honestly.
Yeah, 465.50s is so important right now. I've seen the price point go through that level multiple times. It's gone through it 3 times, and it quickly, you see the bodies are above that level. That shows me right now that's a price point that if we break one more time, I could see us cracking down. But if we hold it here, I could see us testing the resistance. Resistance is up to 466.50.
What stock were you talking about?
I was just talking about the SPYs. Tried to break that 465.50 multiple times.
You know what's so crazy is that we had a couple of people in the happy hour. Well, we had one person make a case for, hey, it's possible that SPY goes to 500 by the end of the year.
It's possible.
This was all the way back in like May, maybe. And we all kind of laughed about it. We kept charting it. And then as time kept going, we were like, oh my gosh, this is actually possible. And I'm looking at the chart here. We're taking a little bit of a break. Next leg up might take us to 480.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. And one of the things that I've been looking at is I think the market is going to make one more run. If you guys remember in the pandemic, we had a big run into the turnaround, into the pandemic. This is, I think, the same thing you're going to see. I think you're going to see a massive run for a lot of stocks. And then eventually we're going to get a big turnaround in the market. I'm kind of worried about 2022. But for right now, 2021, I still see upside.
Hey, you know what's having a be good day? I mean, it's not a very big moving stock, but Cisco, CACO is up 1.5%.
Cisco
on no news, weirdly enough. Wish, if you're still in Wish, I'm sorry. You're getting punished today, down 4% for no apparent reason other than it's Wish.
All right. So just to point out some other ones, relationships with that Cisco move, SATS, EchoStar Corporation, looking strong right out the gates. You guys can see that one. COM, COMM, and it looks like I wouldn't take a look at these are just too small. EXTR is another one I'd take a look at. These are in communication equipment industry.
Man, these options on coins are just spready as anything. Jesus Christ. Went ahead and finally hit that 320 on Coinbase, but I'm waiting for it to break. And I'm looking at the contracts and just everything. Even the 310 put has like a 50 cent, 60 cent spread.
You know, that's a good point, Zunaid. That's very difficult for me to trade options when the spread is that big. I end up staying away or just trying to trade the equity.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do the commons. It just sucks because the type of size I would like, it ends up, buying power gets impacted. That's why I like the option side, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, that's the level I'm taking a look at. Tesla did go ahead and bounce off of that 985, I believe it was. Yep. I couldn't get in because I was waiting for 980s. It never got there, so I'm not in the position. But you can see how Tesla just went ahead and dipped and ripped right in front of our own eyes. And then let's see what PayPal is doing here. Forward by the, oh my goodness, PayPal. Trying to make a move to the upside. Couldn't get there. Look, man, they just need to come to my levels. Let me get a buy, and then let me go along with you. Anyway, that's where we're at with that. Ford just hanging around $20, waiting for that to kind of do something, hoping for it to reach. Once it breaks a previous close, about $20.40 will be what I'm looking for. I am in the Ford $20 call is filled at 68 cents. Stop loss, low of day.
Yo, guys, the craziest thing just happened.
What?
The whole office just had a power surge and lost power for like a second.
Oh, wow. Who's the host?
They're trying to get you.
Well, because
They're coming for your inside out sweater.
Dude, I don't know what that was. So that's never happened before.
I'm telling you, they come to get you.
That was crazy. So I think I'm back now, but that was nuts.
We're pretty sure you're back.
All right. We got over 740 people watching right now. If you guys can hit the like or hit the share button, we truly appreciate that. We're going to do this every single morning, 100% free. I know a lot of the chat rooms and trading rooms you find out there are charging you over $100 a month just to see them trade. We do this absolutely free right here on Benzinga Live. Guys, hit that like button. Let's keep it going.
You've got Coinbase looking to test VWAP here. If you want to go short, it's not the best risk reward, especially because the options are just spready. No, I'm not going
You're
to say the
saying
rest of
spready,
that.
right? You're not saying bready like from the Tom Brady commercial?
No,
Okay.
I am saying spready, and I would emphasize on a comparison, but I might get in trouble. But not the best risk reward. Maybe if you get to that 326, 328, you can, right, with a stop loss above VWAP, but for right now, it's not. I am personally looking for a break of 320 so that I can go ahead and short it, but so far, nothing there. Ford making its move. Contracts are up about 15% so far. Broke that previous close like we talked about. Now for me, the next stop is going to be $20.40. Set an alert right there so I can sell my contract, but I am hanging on to it till then. And I'll go ahead and sell half there, and the rest of it, I'll go ahead and just enjoy till the Rivian IPO comes along and see what the hype is and see how much I can milk this contract in 40. It's already been a great trade and a swing trade from the $18 levels, but we'll see how much more we can get.
I heard Scrambler. Well, I don't know if you guys talked about D-Nut while I was gone, Krispy Kreme. I know I heard Scrambler mentioned it. The earnings were last night. The EPS was in line. The sales beat, and they reaffirmed their guidance for the year. I, as a general rule of thumb, don't like stocks that have re-entered the market. Have gone private and then gone public again, which is what D-Nut did. But regardless, we're up 13-14% today off that report. But I would sell that. I would definitely not chase that. I would sell that pop for sure. Same thing also with TWNK, right? Hostess brand, which is doing weird things this morning off its report.
Myself.
Nothing really crazy. By the way, did you guys see that Panera's coming back? Panera got taken private in 2016.
Nice.
And is now coming back, and there's a SPAC that's investing in it.
I think they're a little late to the party, though, right? The Panera boat?
No. It's a money grab is what it is. I mean, they got private equity firm, took them out in 2016, is bringing them back 5 years later. We don't quite know what the valuation will be at the IPO yet. But HUGS is your SPAC that's investing in Panera. Not buying it, but investing it. Exactly, WK. Yep.
All right. Now, one I wanted to bring up that I missed today, and I'm kind of upset I missed this one. I shouldn't have been missing this one. I was worried about some other plays, but should have been focusing on VZIO. Fubo, of course, had their earnings yesterday, and so did Vizio. They had a good report, decent report. Nice little VWAP bounce play right there. That's as clean as it gets, guys, especially when you're getting those slight wicks underneath and then you get that quick recovery now pushing up there towards 20. You could have played it, let's say 1880s, 1890s, and then getting up there towards 20. You're talking about a 5.76% move for a day trade. That's pretty good.
RNXT just hammering the highs. This thing wild out of the gate. Moved too fast for me to get in there, and now I feel like I'm chasing.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, that $10 level
it's
held
wild,
a little bit around VWAP, yep, and just kept on going.
The 10 and the $11 level fell pretty quick, so I would anticipate the same thing is going to happen at 12. May try it here.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on it.
Wow.
Looks like it's banging its head up against it.
1194. Here we go. Pop out. All right. So that, I mean, again, that's it's a little trade, but it is something. The thing about RNXT is like the craziest part for me on this one was that the news was out at 6 o'clock in the morning Eastern yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
This is the news. This is the PR. And I think that what happened here is that they actually did a presentation later on in the evening, and that kind of lit this. So part of me, like I'm not medically inclined enough to understand all of the different stuff in the PR. I would need someone smarter than me to explain that. But when I'm looking at the action trading today, clearly we're running on momentum and volume in this name. To me, it just feels like, unless I can understand the data a little bit better, it feels like at some point we're going to get a nasty pull here. But until then, we're getting multiple opportunities to scalp this puppy. Oh, I don't know. That's just my thought here. I spent maybe too long watching this in the morning here because it just ran too fast out of the open.
You know what else is running?
See, now it's pulling back. We're 50 cents under that 12 mark.
You know what else is run off the open here straight up? I think is Unity, ticker U.
Yeah, it's almost green, isn't it? Here, let's pull it up.
It is green.
It's green now.
It is green.
All right.
Gosh, by the dip.
That just goes to show you.
It doesn't always work, but sometimes it really does.
It just goes to show you playing earnings.
Oh
Playing earnings is just.
It's so difficult. It's so difficult.
It's not even difficult. It's almost impossible to be profitable.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. It's almost impossible if you strictly just play earnings to be profitable. I don't know how you do that.
Or are you talking about playing earnings in terms of holding through, or are you talking about after?
Yeah,
reporting?
like some people like to
holding
actually play
through.
For the earnings report. That's what they're playing.
Yeah, no.
They're like, the earnings report will be positive, so I'm going to go along. I just can't do that.
It doesn't work that way. Unfortunately,
I can't do that.
It's not that easy.
Yeah, those binary events, that's the closest thing to gambling that you're going to get, right? Because it's either, you either make it or you don't. And if you buy short-term options, for example, to capture that, you might be wiped out the next day if it doesn't move the direction.
You know, I would actually say, Ryan, it might be even worse than gambling, because at least when you gamble, they give you some extra for betting on the non-favorite, right?
That's true.
Actually, that's a good point, man.
You don't get that extra for betting on the non-favorite in stocks. You bet on the non-favorite. Guess what?
You get killed on Twitter.
They take your money.
Come after you.
They take your money, man.
Someone saying EVGO is going. EVGO, this thing has been sure is. This thing has been a monster. It moves around pretty quick, though. Be careful if you're trading this one, unless you've got a pretty good risk profile here.
All right,
EVGO,
AMC a little choppy. Bounced up. Doesn't stop me out. So Lidar hasn't stopped me out either. It's just hanging out. It did pull back down there, but I'm seeing it just hang out. It's nothing bad right now. I'm still trying to hold it through.
All right. I unfortunately do have to hop off here because I got some things I need to take care of as far as show things before we go live at noon again. So I'm going to say goodbye for now. And I'll just say, Ryan, I know. Well, I don't know about Ryan. Zunaid and Mitch, I know you guys are in active positions right now.
Yes.
So
no, I just scalped mine. I was out of mine.
Yeah, so this man was out within 2 seconds. Like, goddamn.
Yeah. So good luck on those positions, guys, and everyone in chat. I'll see you guys later. I know we got SPAC Stack at 11, and I'll be back on the stream at noon. And so have fun until then.
All right, guys. Looking for a reversal in MG&I. Would want to see Pub M and TTD get strong again to the upside. TTD did recover, holding VWAP right now. Want to see Pub M kind of do the same move. It pushed on up, came back to VWAP. We want to see it back up there towards 40.50, not breaking down. Then I can go ahead and attack the relationship for MG&I. I'm
going to go ahead and waste the $100. I'm going to go and grab some TTD $100 calls for that expire this week. Paid $1.01 for me. If it goes ahead and breaks the previous high, which I believe is near 90, let's just call it $95.70. I will go ahead and add one more, hoping for it to climb a little bit, because yesterday it did have momentum. Obviously today with the market, it just doesn't. But would not be surprised if this one tries to hit $100. Going back to Ford, though, still trying to break that previous high. I was 6 cents away from my first fill, which is half my contracts. So I'm still waiting on that to happen. But I am in those two positions at the moment. Unity breaking or looking to break 180 here, $2-3 away.
Ring Central looks like it went through that 300 level and pulled back here. I wouldn't be shocked if we tested 300 again at some point today.
All right, catching up with the chat. I want to catch up with the chat, start covering some of those stocks. So if you guys got a stock you guys want to cover in the chat, go ahead and throw it up. Like always, hit the like button before you get your stock mentioned so that you can support the channel. Now let's go ahead and knock out some of these. I'm seeing a lot of tickers flow in there. SGFY. I don't know what that one is. SGFY. Signify Health. We were talking about health. Great mention, Florida mentioning SGFY. Look at that one. Nice little push right now, trying to get through 18. And that's a good looking chart. I like that. Good call out. SGFY. Florida. Shout out to you, man. That's what it's all about. Trade as a community and try to put out charts and things that stand out to you. Maybe it can stand out to another trader that's in the chat, or maybe it just stands out to us and maybe we make a trade on it. But like always, help each other out and let's be a community. All right, keep going. BYND will have earnings later. I think this is a sell personally, but I've been against Beyond Meat since this moment. This is back when it first dropped down here. I had ended up calling this one down to a 50 target, and it never got towards my 50 target. It got close. But I'm expecting this one to come back down towards 50. But I'm bear in the industry. I think inflation, supply issues come out. We'll find out after the earnings report. But like always, I do like to give my bias. For me, I'm biased on the bear side, even though I have no position. TTCF, same thing for me. You're talking that fake meat life. For me, it's nothing. OSW mentioned by WK Harris. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. OSW. This is what controls the SPAs on the cruise lines. I did like this one back when it was down here towards the 9 and 10s. Now it's a little extended, but it could break through 1234s. I have a resistance line that I've drawn for a while. It's passed from this support back here. We'll see if this one can get strong. This is one SPA World Holdings. It does the SPAs on a lot of the cruise lines, and it does other SPAs also, but just to give you guys the insight. All right, keep going. Asana being mentioned in the chat, ASAN, not looking bad, pulling back today, still looking strong. I'd be watching that one. Asana, it can continue to trade, but you got to be careful because remember, when this stock IPO'd, it was a $28 stock. We're talking now $137 stock. Eventually, you're going to get some kind of pullback.
Yeah.
But what it is that they still haven't found a level that's too high to pay for Asana. For right now, I think it's still in the strength. But if it breaks 120s, I'd be careful.
Unity's just up and away, by the way. Unity's all the way to 185. Broke that 180 that we talked about, and there it is, $5 move there. Looks like TTD. So there's Unity making a nice little move, approaching 190s here almost. Go ahead and take a look at TTD above that 95. Looking for it to break 95.50, and I might go ahead and add a contract. We'll see. We are up about 30 cents on those, and Forge still trying to linger around itself right here, possibly trying to put in a flag so we can break it. Well, that would be neat.
One trade that I did talk about on pre-market prep that's in that gaming sector that you just brought up because of Unity. So Avid, it trades as a multimedia, but it did a nice little gap fill. I talked about this one on pre-market prep. I was looking for that gap fill right back up. Look how it did it right out the gates, literally to the key. So that's that gap trading that I've been seeing lately work. Shadow trading has been doing really well. Let's see what other stock. This was another one I mentioned, BILI, in pre-market prep. So it's not like I'm giving it now, guys. This stock is already up about 6%. BILI was another one I gave out. And hey, 2 stocks I gave out in this industry, both up more than 7% right out the gates. Not a bad move in BILI.
Yeah, and real quick, just some news that crossed the wire here.
Yeah.
Zynga shares are popping here on volume. Analyst Gordon Haskett says Zynga's open to an offer, and Microsoft may be lurking. So that's why you're seeing your move here in Zynga.
Ooh, that's actually really good.
But
it's interesting because there was also talks of there was talks of NFTs. There was talks of Meta in their earnings. I think you're seeing a strong report here. And if they do a buyout, if that's what happens here, Zynga has been a favorite for a lot of analysts for a long time. So I could see some buyout offers coming. Right now, the only thing that can hurt you is a shadow underneath it to 7. So 725 to 7 is something I think you could see a pullback. But right now, if it does get that buyout, I think you could see some strength through 8. It's definitely going to be on a lot of people's radars. And we'll see it because this has retraced massively. This is one of the favorites favorites from Goldman Sachs and Bank of America at the beginning of the year. And as you guys can see, for the year, it hasn't done much, but who knows? Now it's back towards the 200-day on the weekly, pushing back off of it.
Forward, half my contracts are gone here at 90 cents. It went ahead and hit that $20.40 level. The rest, you can either go ahead and take it out over as it approaches 50 cents if you want, or just wait to see what happens with the Rivian IPO. Again, you're taking a risk, but at least you've gone ahead and locked some in. That trade was from 68 cents all the way to 90 cents. So you got yourself approximately 28 to 30% on that one. And let's see if it continues onwards. Wouldn't be surprised for it to come down. Looking at Unity, what I want is for it to go ahead and come back and test the 170s. So right around here near VWAP area, especially the previous close around 171.63 would be great for me to try to get into if it does come all the way down here. But so far, I am staying out of it. By the way, it looks like Apple introduces Apple Business Essentials. I wonder what that is. Maybe, Ryan, you can give us a little bit of insight, but we'll see.
I'm sorry, I was listening to something else. What were we saying?
You're fine. It looks like Apple introduces Apple Business Essentials. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but we'll see if that has any different movement on the stock itself. And you've got Candy, KNDI, that introduces a luxury off-road electric vehicle. All right. Whatever.
Sorry, my cat is destroying my house.
No worries. No worries.
I know how that is, man.
On that one.
I'm about to give you some of that scratch tape.
It doesn't even work. Like, I've tried like the whole pineapple stuff. Like, the cat tries to eat peppers and onions.
Pineapple?
Kill them. It's just like, it's unbelievable. Yeah, you can get like that oil that you rub on stuff. It's supposed to stop them from scratch. Just
all right, guys. I'm taking a day trade here for us. Long MGNI, guys. Just got long here at. Looks like I have an average. Let me see what I got to fill in. 23.30s, guys. 23.30s going long here. Going to hold off of 23.15 here. So you're talking about a 15-cent risk on the downside. Looking for a move back up towards 23.75s. So that would be a 45-cent on the upside. I'll show you guys the trade here. This is MGNI. Taking the trade right here. Risking. I'll do a risk box here for you guys so you guys can see the risk. The risk is down towards 23.15. And the reward, I like to also draw a reward box. Look how the reward and the risk, small box risk, big box reward. That's how we want to set up these trades. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's what it's all about, guys. You just got to stick towards the trade. And one of the things that I do these boxes is to keep me honest, right? So now the bid is dropping to 23.11. Now that 23.15 drops out, there we go ahead. We can go ahead and stop out of the trade.
Look at the Tesla. I mean, after it went ahead and bounced off of that level of 1,000, obviously it dipped below. So, you know, if you were long, you would have gotten shorted out of there. But it went ahead and hit highs of 10.57 on Tesla. Nice little dip and rip in that one. Same thing with Unity, obviously, that we talked about. Waiting for it to, okay, come on down a little bit more. Come on down. Let's see what the options in this even look like on Unity. We are down about 10 to 15 cents on that TTD YOLO. So if you're uncomfortable with it, please go ahead and get on out of there.
All right, guys. I haven't gotten my order filled yet. I'm looking to get out if it clicks down by that 23.15 underneath there again. I'm literally on the trigger. This is how you got to be sometimes, especially as a day trader. You're going to have your hand on the trigger a lot. Looks like there's a lot in the chat.
What'd you say, pal?
Sorry. Who are you? Who's going?
Ryan, what are you doing?
Fun and dwac are both moving
Thank you.
now. I don't see any reason why. They're just popping on volume.
All right. There you go, guys. Magnite's back to 23.23. So what we're going to do now is we can actually set a stop at our spot now. We don't want it to turn around on us.
Let's see what Unity just could not give me the fill that I wanted. Come on. Come back down a little bit. Test VWAP for me a little bit.
All right, setting stop for back night. Now I'm just going to let the trade work. It's back up towards my entry. Now I just let the trade work. If it does go into the green, I'll let you guys know.
Sweet.
Catching up with the chat, I did see a lot of people talking in the chat, but dwac, I know that there was mentions of some news yesterday. It started moving. It looks like it's really strong right now, guys. I'll pull up the chart here. dwac pushing on up there towards 60, pulling back there from 56. This is why I like using the hourly charts. If you realize yesterday, what did I talk about? I pointed out the bottoms of dwac. You want to see attempts to break down. So there was 3 attempts that I had drawn out. Now it looks like today, what did we try to do? We tried to break that low again and then quickly recover it. That's the 4th time to try to break through. A lot of times I expect a reversal at that moment, looking for a push towards resistance, and it's a nearby resistance. Doesn't mean it's going to go towards the far resistance, but at least you can expect kind of that trend reversal type. Now it needs volume. Let's see if the volume follows the move. So the volume right now traded on that push was 151,000 shares. What you want to do is see the next time we go through 60, let's see if we can up that volume.
Where'd it go? There we go. Everything else for me is pretty much exactly where it was. So I don't really have any update on my trades here. Unity just didn't go ahead and give me the dip that I wanted. As you can see, it bounced there, but I was hoping that it would come down to about the 172.50 area, but unfortunately it did not. So I could not get my fill there. Ford hanging out around this area right here, the $20.25. When it already hit our first price target, so we are out of the trade there already, half size.
I scalped RNXT real quick there. I didn't really get much on it here. Let me show you. New highs too. So this was a little dangerous. I've actually just scalped RNXT twice. The second one here, I use market orders to get out of these that are moving fast. And when it actually punches through a level that I'm looking to like take it off, if you use a market order, sometimes depending on your latency, the market order will kind of swing around. So I actually just lost 16 cents on that last market order, but I'm still okay. I'm still up on the day. I'm up very minor. These are just very, very small scalps, 500 lots at a time. So it is what it is. It's something you win some, you lose some. But new highs here on dwac. I probably should have stayed in that. Or not dwac, excuse me, RNXT. My big thing with Zunaid and Mitch, I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on this. When I'm trading something specifically for a day trade, where I think a pull is coming, how does that affect like emotionally when you're trying to actually scalp the thing back and forth, or when you're trying to trade it? How does that work for you guys? Because for me, it's one of those things where it's like, if I don't believe a story, I think at any point you could get a huge pull in the stock. And if I'm in there for a day trade, I'm often looking for just like a little bit of gain and want to keep my loss as small as possible. So this is one of the things that I battle on stocks that move around like this. I'm just wondering how you guys handle that.
All right. I'll touch that first. Did catch it in the chat, someone saying that I ignored my box. What happened there on MGNI was a classic point where the spread was down below it, but the spread was also separated by 10 cents. And so I was looking at the ask side, not the bid side. The bid did move down below it, and some shares did fill there, but the spread was actually up there. The ask was sitting at the 25.15 or the 23.15 level. And so that's why I was ready to stop out, had hand on the trigger, but I'm looking for it to actually like close down there. It didn't really close down there. The close is 23.15, and the close for this was right here at 23.12. So it looks like there was a slight second where it ticked, but it was immediately at that 23.15 level. That's where you need to be a little bit subjective. I don't try to be so objective with a penny or two. Now, 5 pennies, that might be a little bit different in your share size.
Yeah.
But that's why you always have to have a little bit of subjectiveness there. I mean, I'm trying to see it close below that, not trying to actually just wick out, because what happens is the clear example of if I would have put that order out there or the stop, guess what happened? they would have sold those shares to Citadel, and Citadel would have taken these. But that's how it happens there. So let's go towards your ripping move. So dwac.
No,
right?
it was RNXT. It was
RNXT.
So again, let me set this up for you. So I don't know the validity of the long-term thesis. So I'm skeptical, right?
Yep. The
But
daily chart gives you that.
But I can tell for sure that this thing has got Mo today. It's got fresh news today. I want to scalp it. The issue that I run into is that when I don't also believe the long-term story and something's moving around really quickly, I feel like I'm a little itchy on the trigger finger, if you will, or the buy and sell button. And I'm only looking for small moves anyway. Like in this, I'm trading a 500 share lot. I'd like to see a 30, 40 cent pop. That'd be a nice little scalp trade. And what happens is like, I like to use market orders to get out of these because it's moving around so fast. And so I'm battling two things. I'm battling my emotion, because I really want to make sure I keep my gain, within my parameter. And then B, I'm also dealing with whatever the market fills me at when I hit a market order. So on the last trade here, if you actually go over to my screen, I've got my broker pulled up. I've made 2 trades today on RNXT. First one I made, it was about $100 profit. It was about a $70 profit. The next one I had up at about 100, and I ended up losing like 20 cents on it, because when I hit fill, or when I hit sell, it actually came back in before my order was filled. Now I'm still green on the day. It's not really a big deal. The more frustrating part here is that this thing actually pushed to new highs. So if I was able to control my emotion a little bit more and maybe stick it out in this, I wouldn't be up 90. I'd probably be up 300-400 at this point. Okay. So I was asking you guys, what strategies do you have for dealing with this when you're watching a stock like this that's moving all over the place that you don't have a fundamental thesis on?
Okay, so a lot of the times what I'm going to be doing is you know how I'm against stops, because the stops fill you at any price, and any price to me is not what you want to get out on unless you're stopping out. To me, stopping out is something that you're like, okay, I'm getting out of this trade and I want the out button. That to me is what a market button is for. It's for no matter what, I'll take it. So to me, you shouldn't be doing this on profits, Ryan. My gotcha. Personal opinion. So on profits, what we want to be using is the level 2 and the market depth. So you have to start adjusting there. Start looking at where the depth is getting bigger. So that will tell you what the different levels on the level 2. So where are the big orders stacked up? Because that's why you see that order thing that you have on the bottom right there, that you have the ladder. That's what the ladder is used for. It's used so you can understand where the supporting is. Do you see how the volume on the left, the bids, they're giving you levels. Those are the levels where you want to see a big volume bar. So that volume bar is going to tell you where the next major support is. If you scroll down, you'll see the volume profile, and where you see those spikes is where the major supports are. There is what you want to be using to understand. So if it goes down towards that level, if I see that volume fill, then I understand that, hey, that's a major support. That's where the major traders are trading.
So it's a really good point that you brought that up, because I actually love the volume profile study on the daily chart, which is what I've got in this box here. I pulled up Lucid, by the way, because I'm hearing that Rivian is looking to open at 120 a share.
Yes, sir.
Unbelievable. So, okay, so we'll get back to that. Let's just finish it up here real quick. I like using the volume profile on the daily chart. And you're right, Mitch. I call this the tree. Ladder, tree, same thing. By adding volume here, and one of the other things you can do is you can actually adjust this column so that the volume is just a bigger column. This actually acts as an intraday volume profile for me. It helps show me where the volume shelves are, and that's going to help me know if I can or can't get out here. That still doesn't stop the issue of me using a market order to make sure that I actually get filled rather than having a specific price. But it is definitely a good guide. And you can see here, by the way, Rivian popping here since we brought this up. Not Rivian, LSID popping here on this Rivian IPO as we're hearing such a high price for it.
So to me, what I used to do to help me with this, Ryan, and I used to trade 1,000 shares, things that are moving fast. So what I used is I used a hotkey -3 limit. So that's how I coded it. I coded it average price minus limit 3 cents. and I'm hitting it every
So
time.
you're basically throwing a limit order 3 cents below where the current price is to make sure that you get that. Gotcha.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So that's what I'm going to do. And if I need to, if I see the price
That's
drop
a
below
good
that
tip, Mitch.
that price, I hit the cancel and I hit the hotkey again, and it'll drop it 3 cents for me again. And then I cancel hotkey again if I need to. But I'd rather hotkey into it with a specific order than get out of it. I do the same thing for when a stock halts and is gapping up and shooting up. I throw out limit orders 30 cents higher, 40 cents higher, just in case potentially I get an instant fill, and I won't be mad at it. So it's hotkeying. I think that can help you in that situation, Ryan.
Okay, that's a really good tip. Not something that I had looked into either. Looks like GPI here trading up here on the Rivian.
Coding hotkeys is something that you got to be careful too with. So just be careful there, because I've also run into the situation where if you're not paying attention to the price and you hotkey in and it's -3, what if you hotkey in on a down gap into the spread? And so you have to just be careful there. Remember, whenever you're doing hotkeys, you're talking about fractions of a second. So you have to have the fastest data. You have to really be on top of it. And it's a hard game. I will say that. Don't have a hotkey cancel on Fidelity? Call them. They have to have that. I would definitely, if they don't, tell them to get it, because they'll definitely probably move towards it. If they have hotkeys, they should have a hotkey cancel that cancels all your orders. Just literally, it's just one button you press, orders are canceled.
Yeah, GGPI continues to pop here. I kind of just watch this go here, but I think that there are some other sympathy plays that that you can play ahead of this Rivian IPO. I see a lot of people talking about the valuation of it, the market cap at this price, all of that.
Stopped out Magnite 23.14.
You want to pull it up, Mitch? That's fine.
Yeah, I can pull it up. I stopped out. Wasn't going to let it go become a loser, guys. It started going up, went to the green. I didn't want to keep coming. Came back into the area. We got stopped out. All right, let's keep going. Let's look at what trades, what sectors and industries are moving today. Looks like consumer cyclical is leading us, but let me go ahead and refresh here. Yep, consumer cyclical leading us from the open. If you look at just the change, you'll probably find communication services. What is up in consumer cyclicals? Auto manufacturing is up. Arrival up about 4.7%. And you can look at some other names: NIU, STLA, XPEV, PTRA up about 2%. Some of these EV names up good. Nikola and Workhorse up 2.4%. Tesla up about almost 5% now, 4.5. Tesla having at least a decent day there. Ford up about 1.44%. Don't know how that trade ended up with you, Zunaid. I don't know. I think you had some calls on it, right?
I had some calls and bought it at 68 cents. We sold half at 90 cents, and the rest we're holding to see what happens with the IPO.
Boom. That's what I like to hear, my friend. That is what I call get in the squeeze. Get in the squeeze there, man. Let's keep going. What other trades are out there? What's moving? Looks like we have some department stores moving up today. Looks like ARKO, CBD. These are some that are not the major ones. The major ones aren't trading too big up. They're just kind of sideways. The monster move that has impressed me is Dillard's. I still am like, how the hell?
Yeah.
How the hell? But I avoid it like the plague. When you don't understand a stock, probably best to stay away.
Yep. Know what you trade. Know what you trade.
Yeah, dude. Like, if you don't understand it and you're looking at it and you're just like, why the heck is this thing keep going? Stay away. It might help because you don't understand the stock. Trade what you know, trade what you're understanding, trade what patterns are telling you to continue trading them, not just, I'm just going to play it again. NVIDIA being asked about by GoPro Leadfoot. I like the interesting name there. Let's take a look at NVIDIA. What are you thinking? I know Zunaid likes to trade NVIDIA, so I'll actually call out to Zunaid. Zunaid, what do you see in NVIDIA?
Yeah, and NVIDIA right here went ahead and passed that $300 level, and I just kept on chucking upwards. You guys saw the level that I've got right here at 308, went ahead and came down to it. If you want, I think the best entry for you might be around that $300 level. If it does go ahead and come back to it, and then you can have your stop loss right below it at maybe 299 or so. But that's where the best risk reward is, in my opinion. Now, is it going to get all the way there? I'm not quite sure, but if you wanted to go long, besides that, you could go ahead and look at it maybe over the 309 and see if it chucks towards the 319 level. But for me, I've got to wait for it to come down at 301 for right about here for me to go ahead and get an entry. So matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and set an alert right there for it to come on back down.
And I see Noah in the chat saying, take a look at BILI. This is Billy. Really strong move out of the open here. Pretty gigantic volume stick, too, right at 9:55 Eastern. Looking at the daily chart here, if we pop over maybe 85, 84, let's see where this high print is here.
I'm kicking myself. This is the one that I mentioned in pre-market prep.
Yep.
And the reason why I mentioned this one is relationships, guys. Understand relationships is so important, because what did I do? I didn't look for BILI. To tell you the truth, I didn't know this stock until today, this morning. I didn't know it at all. How did I find it? Because I went into electronic gaming and multimedia industry, and I said, hold on, what is moving up? Looks like Roblox is moving up, Zynga. We got some earnings reports coming out. Maybe these turn around. And what stood out to me was Avid with a gap up for the earnings, and then BILI, which was pushing on up and giving you a good double bottom look and pushing back. Literally, this was this morning. And this is what it's all about, guys. This is how you find plays. You're not always going to be able to know exactly the best leading names, but you can find the trades by going through the industries and then looking for laggards.
Ford's coming its way on down. Contracts went from being up about 30%, now being up only about 7%. Again, manage it. See what you want to do with the Rivian IPO. Perhaps most of the hype has been milked into it, unless Rivian continues to go higher and higher. But besides that,
yeah, I love that company.
What the risk reward is.
Just don't love the valuation
of what, Ford?
No, a Rivian coming out. Rivian, it's an awesome company, but what price to get it at?
Yeah,
that's the hard part.
What price would you prefer? Like, what's your, hey, this is a good valuation type price for you then?
$30.
Yeah.
Well, what's the predicted?
What would the market cap of that be? I don't know.
What was the predicted open?
The last indication I got was a 120 open.
Yeah, 120 open. I mean, the problem with these is that you're still trying to buy the story versus buy the actual, let's say, the earnings that you can measure or the book value that you can measure. You're just forward looking. And so even in a company like Rivian that does have trucks out, like literally selling it, right? And then has also different avenues for the revenue, right? They're not only just like the Amazon truck style, like what do you call that? First mile delivery, last mile delivery. That's what it is. Yeah. It's not only that, they also have a truck, right? A truck like Ride has, like Lordstown has, or Ford has, the Ford Lightning. And that one's the one that I watch for, because that's the one that could really take them to the next level. Because if they can compete with the Ford Lightning, that's it right there. They start competing with the Tesla Cybertruck. We'll see what happens. We'll see if these can do that. All right, going to go ahead and look around at the overall market, see what we're seeing out there move. If you guys got a ticker you guys want to call out, definitely throw it up in the chat. We'll definitely start covering some of these. Looks like MasterCard is bouncing back today. This one's an interesting one. I've been trying to stay away from these payment stocks just because they've been scaring me with the Visa news that I saw of DOJ talk. That's why I'm staying away from Square and PayPal. I definitely don't like those. But MasterCard bouncing back today, not having a bad day. MasterCard is MC. No, MasterCard is not MC. MasterCard is MA. There you go. I lost it for a second there.
I got your back, bro.
That's what it's about, right? There's so many tickers that you sometimes will end up losing it.
I'm gonna get on a soapbox here for a sec.
Let's do
Whoever decided to make their ticker TLSA. In fact, let's get the name of this company because I'm very upset with them.
Tanzania Life Science.
Whoever did this, like you created so much trouble by creating the ticker because TSLA is one of the hottest stocks on a daily basis. Do you have any idea how many times I fat fingered TLSA into my damn platform?
Can you imagine when Ryan tried to buy TLSA for $1.43, thinking he got Tesla at $1.43?
It's just, I hate it. Jeff, JD's, yes, I hate it.
There's always companies like this.
Rant end.
There's always companies like this, and then you'll see someone like you'll probably see somebody pull out like a meta name, and they're going to be like, I don't know. Mom and pop's babysitting service. They'll say meta in it. You're gonna start seeing things like that. Remember Longfin blockchain? Are we gonna get Longfin meta chain? Are we gonna get Longfin meta? There's always gonna be these stocks.
Here's my question for it. How much do clothes cost in the metaverse?
Expensive, bro.
That's I'm worried. I'm not sure I want to.
It's expensive. The margins are great. That business I want to get into is selling clothes in the metaverse. The margins are awesome, Ryan.
I mean, they must be. It's got to be something, right?
Like 95%. The 5% was just to get it online.
Oh man. JNPR, by the way, Juniper really moving here. This is 31.47, just huge green candles here.
Juniper.
Not sure why, frankly. You're naked in the metaverse, says Hex Pony. I'm not going there then. You don't need clothes in meta. You need to draw your clothes.
Dude, we're gonna have some meta laws. Come on, bro. Meta indecency.
We're having fun today.
Juniper, nice daily chart. This is what I like to see.
Wait a sec, guys. Oh my gosh. The metaverse is the inside out sweater Spencer had on.
Oh my God.
Now it all makes sense.
Stop it.
We're figuring stuff out here, folks.
Here's one to keep an eye out, guys. Strong day, Fiverr, FVRR, filling in the gap there, pushing strong. I'm interested in how this one's really going to continue trading. So keep your eyes on this one, guys. Interesting stock, FVRR.
The sweater first. Oh man.
You've got Ford that topped, that got support at $20. No surprise whatsoever, but it's got to go ahead and get over VWAP, or else you're gonna be looking at a break of 20 to the downside.
All right, catching up with the chat. What am I going to do today? What is there to do? It definitely is definitely one of those days that you're just looking around for some plays. I am liking that AMC is back up towards 39, almost 40. Didn't get stopped out there today at 38. It got close, I'll tell you that. It got to 38.28, and I was sweating a little bit, but it's back there towards 39.73. Let's see if we can get a close above 40. That's what I would want to see for AMC. And the one that is pulling back right now, Lidar, got up there towards 2050. Looked like it wanted to break through that level, but it turned back around. We need to get through that level today to continue on kind of a bullish reversal here. If not, we could be coming down towards 19. And it's going to be tough for me to hold there. I could hold down towards 19 right now. I'm at 19.25, guys. It's been a tough hold now because I was up on this trade about 30 to 40% at the gates yesterday. But of course, I wasn't here. So I missed out on that gainer. And now I'm working the position, trying to make sure that I don't get it to a loser, but also give myself an ability that if it does come back roaring, I'd be making probably more than I would have made in the first trade. All right, catching up with the chat. Zunaid, how do you use the VWAP? The VWAP.
For me, it's acting like support and resistance, right? So let me just kind of pull up. Let's see. I'll go ahead and pull up PayPal from yesterday because I know that's what worked for me in terms of trading it. Let me go ahead and. So that yellow line there is VWAP, right? So yesterday I was short PayPal, had a nice move. I was, got out over here at $200 because I expected it to bounce. The best entry for me was, again, at VWAP right over here. And I use it as a resistance because PayPal was already down so many percentages. It was kind of coming back up. So I went ahead and got short right here on this candle. And above it would have been my stop loss. And as you can see, it kind of came down. Didn't quite get to my target, but I went ahead and filled half. And the rest I got stopped out right over here. So that's how I use it. I use it as support and resistance and to figure out what the best risk reward is for me. What you're seeing right now in action in terms of is Ford, right? You can see how it's trying to get over VWAP right over here right now, because once it does, the trend in, short-term trend, not long-term trend, should go ahead and change to the upside in my favor. But so far, as long as it's below, it's not something you want to add to unless you're looking for a stop loss of 20. But again, to directly answer your question, I use it as a support and resistance type play.
Yep, I do the same. I even sometimes take trades off the VWAP, but it always acts as kind of like a support. And why does the VWAP exist? So a lot of people want to ask, like, what's the difference in between a moving average and a VWAP? So what a VWAP really does is it's a volume weighted average price. So what it does is not only plays in the price into the factor, but it also weighs the volume into the factor. And this is very important because the volume on the day can help that line either go up or down. If it stays closer to the price action, that's showing you that it's bullish volume pushing on up. If it's getting away from the price action, that shows you that the volume is going actually down a little bit, but the price action is actually expanding. And so this is why you always got to be watching VWAP to see what happens. And some people play it on the reverse. I know someone by Kenny Glick, Hit the Bid, actually plays VWAP reversals. They're actually looking for an extension away from VWAP and trying to play it back to VWAP. So that's a reversion play. And so there's many different plays off of this VWAP. And what institutions use VWAP for is, let's say if I needed to put in an order of 1 million shares, if I needed to put in an order of 1 million shares, I can't put that in all at once here in Ford. So what I would do is I would place it at VWAP at different points in the day, and I'd start leveling into it. And you can only place those orders a lot of the times on that VWAP line because they want you to be on that kind of that balance between bulls and bears. So I haven't gotten any confirmation from institutionals on this. This is all in kind of more technical analysis books. So I'd have to get more little confirmation if there is institutions really buying off the VWAP. But that's what it's been talked about, and that's why retail traders also watch it. VWAP has at least been the one thing for me that I've seen adopted pretty high in the last, let's say, 2 or 3 years. And it's become a major focus for retail investors. It's something that wasn't as focused, let's say, 5 or 10 years ago. Now there's anchored VWAPs, and they use those off the daily. So there's a lot out there in use for the VWAP.
Yeah, it's all about what you understand and what you prefer and what you like. There's so many different strategies. Just find one that works for you and, test it out. Trade it with smaller size than you might be comfortable with otherwise.
That's Zunaid, that's a really good point. That's one of the things that I'm doing here on these day trades. I was doing a 500 lot of RNXT. It's $4,000, right? It's not really that big of a position.
Yeah.
And by doing that, I'm able to hopefully make more tactical decisions on that.
Yeah.
So
and we talked about
something in practice, reduce your size.
Yeah. And we talked about the psychological thing that you brought up, right? It's also easier to stick to those principles when you have a smaller size versus if you're trying to sling around, say $5,000 shares, if that doesn't fit your portfolio, it ends up being like 40% of your portfolio. You know what I mean?
Right.
Makes it easier to stay disciplined there as well.
Definitely. If you're ever noticing your emotions are just way too high, cut that size.
Yeah.
Cut that size, because when you cut that size, you're not going to feel that heart over here out of your chest. It might come back into your chest. It's okay to have a beating heart. Now, another thing is if you're feeling sweaty palms, if you're literally feeling your heart rate, like you can hear your heart, rising. This is why at one point, and Ryan, Zunaid, you probably laugh about this, but I actually bought a heart monitor watch. And I'd watch the heart monitor watch. If I would spike over, I think like 220s or 200, which is like running speed, like your heart, you should be running and you're sitting, there's a problem. Maybe you're using too much sizing and you need to size down to control this. In the chat mentioned Patrick PK and also Jay Rice, trim some of Vizio at 2025. Not a bad move there. That's exactly the type of stock that I would buy off the VWAP. So Patrick, if you wanted to take a look at a pattern, that's one that I'd like. So what you want to see is what? Pre-market flag pattern or bull flag pattern pennant it could be. And if you could see here, guys, in the pre-market, this is what we had. This was the look in Vizio. You can see a downtrend. What? Downtrend. Boom. You can see that. I could see that, hey, if it gets above 18, it's going to be looking strong. That's what you're looking for. So then out the gates, what you're looking for is a strong up move and a retrace to VWAP. That's exactly what this stock does. It goes right here from the gates. It goes from 18 up there towards a high of 1950 and then pulls back towards 19. Why did the VWAP curl so high up there? Is because of the volume. And that's why we like VWAP, because it follows the price action some. And so there you guys see it. It pulls back towards the VWAP here. VWAP was sitting at 1896. A lot of times my orders I put out slightly below VWAP. I'll put this out probably 1890. And I'd probably be risking down towards this low of this candle. This low of this candle is 1853. And so, of course, you could hold it a little closer if you want. But I'm always holding it at the next layer of support. To me, the next layer of support is this candle, not this candle up here at the top. That low is 1890, where you run right into the VWAP. So I'm looking for the next layer as my risk, and I'm looking for it to get quickly above VWAP. So it's okay to dip below VWAP even twice, but after that, you want to see a recovery and a reversal signal. Reversal signals usually come with a bullish candle, right? And so this is exactly what you get right here. Bullish engulfing candle into the breakout. That's what you want to see. That gives you really strong signs and confirmation that, hey, I picked a bullish chart. I picked a good entry. Now I'm getting bullish reaction. Now let's see if the trade can get through the resistance. Usually I sell some up here at this 1950, this first resistance, and I look for the R2 or reward 2 to get to the next level up. Probably be around 20 in this one, but you can always base it off of a daily or a weekly. Look back at it, see where you could see some resistance come into play, and see where the next level is on the stocks. I do like this play. This is kind of what you call an undercut and rally trade. And Vizio, not a bad trade there. I hope you guys or someone was able to nail it. And it looks like Jay did nail it. So you sell when it's extended from VWAP. Well, you can sell at targets. Targets are usually the resistance up. I usually sell right before the resistance, but it's always up to you. I mean, there's no specific extension from VWAP where you want to be selling. It's going to be the next levels up. And what you're using VWAP is more along to determine entry and risk versus the reward. All right, going to go catch up with the chat. dwac still being mentioned. Are we still getting a dwac run?
dwac looks like it pulled a little bit. Sorry about that. I was scoping Twitter to see if I could find anything. dwac looked like it pulled, bounced back up though. Again, just really kind of moving around.
5-minute trend right now, holding. So you see how you get this kind of peak. I like drawing speed. This is what you would call a trend line, but it's also a speed line. It's how fast it's been going up. The angle will tell you how fast, right? If the angle was more, let's say like this, that would tell you that it went up really quickly. If it's about halfway between, let's say 90 and a 180, that's a 45 angle. That's not a bad move as long as it stays on that angle. And so the pullback here is a good move as long as it gets back up through the resistance. So the pullbacks, you want the next high coming after that next extension. All right, guys, getting towards 10:39. I'm going to go ahead and get you guys on out of here. You guys want to do a little wrap up? By all means, go ahead and talk about your trades, but I'll get you guys on out of here. We're going to keep going until 10:45. Then I got SPACs Attack on at 11 for us. We do have an interview on there. So, and I also want to talk about some Lidar companies. I'm going to talk about Lidar's deal with NVIDIA. So if you guys want to stick around for that, definitely SPACs Attack will be coming on up. And Ryan, Zunaid, what do you guys got? How was your day? And what do you want to talk about? Maybe a little wrap up.
So the first thing here, obviously, we're going to be looking for the Rivian IPO. I definitely want to see what happens, where it ends up settling, what's going to, what the market thinks of the IPO and all of that. But I'm also going to watch some of these other names, right? I'm, look at PLTR really trading down, trading really awful today. As mentioned at the top of the show, I want to take a look at some of the banks and see if there's anything we can figure out from the bank trade. And then I want to see, the other thing about the Rivian IPO, we talked a lot about EVs, but it'd be nice to see if other tech names pop when that opens. So I kind of want to watch some of the macros, see what's going on. I want to see, we seem to be right at even on the S&P. I want to see if maybe we get an afternoon run here.
I mean, just look at Coinbase. This thing is trying to wake up and take all
trying to go
of
green.
Its losses back. Yeah, it's trying to go red to green here. It'll be interesting if it happens. I am not in this trade. I was looking to go short at the break of 320. Thank God I didn't get it.
Lunch by lunch, maybe.
Yeah. Looking at Ford, again, it's below VWAP, but we had a nice trade in this one. We locked in about 35% gains. Had a nice play in Tesla right out of the open. And that's kind of pretty much it for me, but just kind of look, trade smaller size, get used to the mentality of how the market works, and try not to get rich overnight. Little by little, you'll be fine. Hit some singles. You got to hit home runs every single time.
Yep.
Definitely. That's the way it is, man. I mean, at the end of the day, home runs are great, but can you keep the risk to singles and hit home runs? That's the hard part, really.
Yeah.
Usually, if you're a home run swinger, what's your average? Lower than 200? Lower than 200s in the MLB. So you're talking about 20% of the times I'm going to be in the profit. 80% of the time I'm going to be a loser. Better manage that risk, guys. So that's what it's about. You can have those as your percentages, but you would need to manage your risk like no other. So I always talk about look back at your percentage of accuracy, also how your system has been trading. And this is going to help you determine, hey, do I have the right profit to loss ratio for the strategy that I'm going after? Because if my results are not there, then I need to go ahead and reassess my system to maybe get the results that I need. So is it that I need to expand on the reward side, or maybe I need to limit on the risk side? So a lot of times I'll go back to my trades and I look, am I going for 3-to-1? Or am I going for 2-to-1s? And I've seen that I want to stick to the 3-to-1 trade versus the 2-to-1 trade, because that just doesn't give me enough on the accuracy side to stay into the profits. So that's why I look for 3-to-1 trades, but it's all about your data out there and how you trade. Ryan, Zunaid, I'll get you guys on out of here. Like always, guys, we'll be back tomorrow. Like always, smash the like. Give us a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed live trading with Benzinga. And Ryan, Zunaid, we'll see you guys on out of here.
Have a good one, bro. Stay
See
green.
you later, pal.
Take care. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here. We got about 3 minutes left. If you guys got a stock you guys want to talk about, JD's is talking about in the chat, have you ever combined previous angle exits to predict a breakout price target? You can do that. It is a method in technicals to use that. Some people also use Fibonacci's extensions. So that could be used into the previous angle. Another thing that's used, at least for pullbacks, is a fan. So projection fan. There's so many things. I mean, if I pulled up my chart and I explained all these things, I mean, there's Fibonacci projections. So let's say if you were taking here and you were looking for the extension up, where is the extension coming? Hold on, I clicked on it from the wrong side. Let me delete this. There you go. So you want to go ahead and measure the move, use that, look for the fibs to give you that projection. It's definitely something that you guys can start trying to test. There's fib arcs. There's so many things that you guys can be using. Some people like to look for pullbacks, like let's say LAZR, and they'll use what's called a fan. So fan angles. So let's say if we use the daily, let's use the hourly because it has the fibs already there. So you could use fib fans. These are kind of downward angles to test speed and how the stock should react. And so let's say if you react there, it'd be faster and you'd want it to get back above that line. There's so many things to learn from, Jay. And we're going to try to teach you some of these things right here on Live Trading with Benzinga. I myself has been working at this. If you want to learn a little bit more about technicals, I am going through the CMT testing, the Chartered Market Technician. So this is a lot of where I'm learning some new indicators, some stuff that I'm adding to my technicals. You guys give a thumbs up. Check it out if that's what you're interested. If you're a big technicals guys, you could look at CMT. If not, also check out our trading school. Our trading school is ran by what? A CMT. Mark Petrino, he's in our trading school, Benzinga Trading School, and he teaches you technicals also, and he teaches on emotions, psychology of trading. So if you want to check that out, I definitely suggest it. And why? Because he's a CMT. I'm trying to do the same. So we'll get after you guys here. Up next, you guys got the SPACs attack. Give us a thumbs up. We'll see you on the SPACs attack coming on next at 11. Until then, guys, let's keep it going. I love to see you guys working in the chat. A lot of people active today. I want to read out some names that were active, and this is what it's about, growing the community. So JD, definitely a shout out, $1 tip. And not only that, but I see you active in the chat. Christian, Easy Mike, of course, thinking about it. ADW, Brian, Hex, Jim, Patrick, Crypto, Chad. That's what I like to see. Brian, Blockchain, Tiny Pie, of course, Brett. This is what it's all about. I've been seeing a lot of you guys in the chat sticking with the team, and we're going to keep going at it. Justin, what's going on? Mark M. This is what I like to see. And if you guys want to be sticking around, definitely right here on Benzinga, we're going to stay loyal. We're going to keep doing this every single day, and you'll know it. Sometimes we're going to do great. Sometimes we're going to do bad, and we'll teach you exactly how we go about it. Hit the thumbs up, the subscribe below, and we'll see you on the SPACs attack. We're going to talk some Lidar. So if you want to learn about Lidar, stick around, and we'll see you there.